We all pretty much come to the same conclusion. Kersey has really stepped in it this time. We're in deep doo-doo.
Kersey's town leaders got an earful last week.
Whoever made up that $340 law needs to go.
A vent session about this photo radar trailer on County Road 49.
When you say you're going to install something, it's installed that day, right?
And questions about how anyone knew it was coming.
Have you thought about what it would have been like if we just issued warnings for 30 days?
Kersey Police Chief Jonathan Lang will tell you there was warning.
So when the ordinance was adopted on March 11 of 2025, that's when our warning period started.
There has to be, according to state law, for the first 30 days after the system is installed or deployed, only warnings may be issued.
The point was that you then make people aware so that they slow down because it's supposed to be about safety.
Hazel Gibson helped write that state law.
We're also making sure that this isn't about revenue. So the first offense is only a warning.
As chief of staff for the late state senator Faith Winter.
This bill started in her office.
She says the whole thought process behind a warning period was quite simply to warn people.
It's not supposed to be a gotcha.
Steve Stager, 500 Spear Boulevard, Denver, Colorado.
That's what brought me to the podium. I'm here because I have a question I've wanted to ask the chief in an on-camera interview, but he hasn't been able to fit us in.
In that 30-day warning period, were any warnings physically issued to drivers?
Yeah, it's a good question. Just like other jurisdictions that I won't name, the way that the statute's being interpreted is that physical or mailed out warnings do not have to be issued to the person.
Chief Lang says the 71 drivers they clocked above the speed limit during Kersey's 2-month warning period were never told they broke the law.
Does not issuing a warning feel like a warning?
I can't comment to that directly because the statute's open for interpretation.
But if you're not giving someone a warning, how is it a warning? I just don't understand that. Like a warning is, hey, you've done this thing. You're not supposed to be doing it. Don't do it again. That's a warning.
Chief Lang points to the language of the law, which says only warnings may be issued.
It's the way that law enforcement agencies are interpreting the statute.
And insisted Kersey wasn't alone.
I would recommend reaching out to the individual departments.
So we did, and found a lot of towns and cities that have been issuing warnings during their warning period. Wheat Ridge and Mountain View even sent us copies of some of the warnings they sent out. But we did find 4 more governments not sending warnings during their warning period. Hudson and Fairplay didn't. Walsenburg and Eaton tell us they don't plan to either when their cameras go live. They all said they let the public know the system was coming by posting on their website, some through social media, and Walsenburg even posting something about it on the front door at the city building.
Why would we write that in there if you didn't have to do anything? Why would we waste the pen and the time?
Kersey didn't even have their current fixed system in place during their warning period. Instead, relying on an officer with a radar gun who wasn't there 24 hours a day. As soon as the permanent system went in place in September, it issued about 1,200 tickets a day on average during the first 30 days of operation.
Your grace period should be when it was first put there permanently. All those citations, all those warnings should be null and void.
Gibson says this seems to be a warning that the law could use an upgrade.
It tells me that we have some work to do in this next legislative session to clarify what the intent of the bill was and how these local municipalities can actually abide by it.
Our analysis found the second month that camera trailer was out there, the average number of tickets was cut in half. The chief now says that the trailer's writing fewer than 400 tickets a day, which he says means people are slowing down, and he says that was the goal of all this. He's told me behind the scenes he'd like to see the legislature offer more clarity for jurisdictions who are using this law. But the question is, and I think the legislators who built this law wanted to make sure that people had notice that this was coming, right? Because they argue that this has never been about revenue. It's never been about punishing people. This has literally been a safety bill. So if you can give someone a warning and tell them, hey, the next time you pass through here, if you do that again, you might get a ticket. And then if they break the law again, then they get the ticket. Like their goal was never to say, like, let's punish them right away. Let's make sure that they know that this is coming and then see if that changes habit.
Well, let me ask you, because you've been investigating this for, a month now. What do you think it was? Just extra effort, laziness? They didn't want to give the warnings, or they saw, I don't know if loophole is a strong word, but they saw that little gray area in the law that didn't say you have to do this.
So remember, there's a cost associated with everything, right? So if you're going to mail something to a driver, If you're going to mail something to people who have violated something, you've got to pay for that. We noticed in the contracts with a lot of the vendors, it says like warnings are a goodwill thing for the community, but you're going to be on the hook to pay for those. And so it's interesting to see if towns are, and we know at least Hudson, the police chief there, told us they consider this to be a violator-funded program, so they weren't going to burden the taxpayers by mailing out warnings. So we're burden the taxpayers of the town.
I think there's your answer right there.
Yeah.
Steve Steger, thank you.
Yep.